Hey, good evening and happy Easter Sunday to every single one of you out there repping USA, International, Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, host with the most misunderstood lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, and rookie podcaster, aka Queens, New York native, representing Laurelton, Queens, New York. And you're rocking and hanging out with me on the 59th episode of Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the sports edition show. I do apologize for delaying the upcoming episodes, not just because of the late dinner, but because I was going through a lot actually, which I'm not going to really get into too much about it. But um anyway, so we're live and direct from StreamYard alongside with YouTube and alongside myself is the Instagram live feed of the podcast show page on Instagram. Make sure you turn on your notifications. Make sure you follow for more details on when each episode is going to be dropping. And as the schedule goes for each episode is going to be dropping, it's going to be Wednesdays and Thursdays. Um and and for the most part, I hope y'all are enjoying your Easter weekend with some fun festivities, egg hunts, candy shops, places to eat, places to go, so you can have a sense of relief from stressful jobs, stressful family dramas, and all that other stuff. So, without further ado, why don't you go ahead and grab that subscribe button for me on the sports YouTube channel page of Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. Leave a like and a comment along with the episodes and sports topics. And tell us what you think about the sports topics. And also tap on the noti bell along with alerts so you can be reminded of when the podcast recording is going to be on the air via live stream along with the date and the time. Stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes, and of course, download these episodes. Very important. Share the episodes, share the videos, and of course, listen, stream, watch the episodes in case you miss any of them. Don't worry, everything's already included. And of course, tell a friend to another friend, and I will handle the rest where you can listen to the episodes at the end of the show. And also, you are more than welcome to actually leave a 5-star rating on Podchaser along with Podfriend, Spotify, and of course, you can share the podcast on Spotify as well. Of course, make sure you subscribe to all the streaming platforms, which I will mention. And yeah, so also, before I go any further, yes, so you're more than welcome to actually make a charitable donation to support this podcast show that I'm doing, along with the other multiple podcast shows that I do in my Cash App, which is G Money Stacks 555. That's $ capital G, lowercase MONEY, capital S, lowercase TACKZ 555. You don't need to be from a privileged, rich family to show moral support. It's all about doing the best you can on whatever amount of money you choose and that you're comfortable with and desire will be appreciated. So there you go, right there. And once again, I do apologize for the upcoming delays of the episodes. Um, I am going to get back into my rhythm. So this is just me right here. And on top of that, I was waiting for some more information in regards to one of the Met players who is on the injured list, which we will get to. Um and and yeah, so let's get to the quick side bleacher bar, man. Let's do this. Okay. First topic. Josh Hart. Hang on. Let me see who just came into the chat. Let me see. Let me see what's up to somebody real quick. This is Bloodthirsty Times. Shout out to you. Thank you for viewing this sports podcast live feed on Instagram Live. And if you are on Instagram Live and you'd like to chime in on the topics that's going on in this episode or any previous episodes that's going to be upcoming and whatnot, you can go ahead and do that. As long as it's not anything, as long as it's not anything too hateful or anything like that, please leave the hateful shit in a bottle. Seriously, seriously. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it. Okay, so Josh Hart, right? And this is according to EliteSportsNY.com. Knicks fans who want more of Josh Hart might soon get their wish and beyond just the season. Appearing on the Hoops Hype podcast with SNY's Ian Begley, and NBA insider Michael Scotto reported Hart would decline his $13 million player option this summer and sign a new deal with New York. Hart has almost a $13 million player option this summer, which he's expected to decline and become a free agent, Scotto said. But fear not, Knicks fans. Hart loves the fit in New York, and the Knicks want to re-sign him in free agency. I don't see him leaving. I see him getting either a 3 or 4 year deal at some point once he becomes eligible. The Knicks acquired Hart from the Portland Trailblazers last month and have gone 9-1 since. He's averaging 11.2 points and 5.9 rebounds over that stretch, and is also shooting an amazing 61.5% from the field. Josh Hart has also been a great two-way player for the Knicks. His defensive plus, excuse me, his defensive box plus and minus since moving to New York is a stout 2.6. Hart's offense has also improved with his offensive box plus minus um a career high 1.9 so far. Okay. And though the idea of signing Josh Hart to a multiplayer contract seems expensive, it will be money well spent. His two-way skills are ideal in Coach Tom Thibodeau's system. He and star point guard Jalen Brunson were teammates at um, Villanova and remain close friends. In fact, Brunson's reaction to the trade said it all. Um, wow. And Hart also knows how to keep things loose, and that will only help on Thibodeau's usually tight ship. Look at how effortlessly he has fun with the supposedly notorious New York media. It's it's truly a special time for Knicks basketball. The team is winning. Everyone at Madison Square Garden is happy. Most important of all, it's clear players want to come to New York again. Let's see Josh Hart become the start of a greater trend. Okay, and wow, that's pretty dope, man. Actually, yeah. Well, yeah, but a contract is big, worth a lot of money. I don't know. We'll see. And let's go to let's go to Draymond Green. Hang on a second. Wait a second. Wait, wait. Actually, Julius Randle. Let's go to that one. And this is from Empire Sports Media. The New York Knicks offense sputtered in Jalen Bronson's absence. Their remaining star, Julius Randle, struggled offensively, and his frustrations boiled over in a momentum shifting technical foul that allowed the Los Angeles Clippers to run away with a 106 to 95 win on Saturday. Oh boy. The Knicks' third straight loss dropped them to sixth place in the Eastern Conference behind the crosstown rivals Brooklyn Nets, which they are 38 to 29 right now. Without Bronson's calming leadership, Randall relapsed again with his emotions getting the best of him as he did last season. Hmm. The Knicks appeared headed into the fourth quarter on top when Randall blew his top. He intentionally elbowed Clippers backup Big Mason Plum Lee in a rebound battle to air his frustrations for not getting the calls in his previous drives. Instead of having a 1 point lead, the Knicks trailed by two as the Clippers hit three free throws, two off a loose ball foul, and one from a technical foul, with zero point 0.3 seconds left in the third quarter. Hmm. Randall had to be restrained and it took Knicks associate head coach Johnny Bryant to cool down the emotional all-star forward who appeared to have a shouting match with a team staff on the bench while the play was on review. Sometimes Randall can get frustrated, but it's an emotional game. New York coach Tom Thibodeau said, "So just keep playing." But the Knicks stopped playing beautiful music together after Randall's meltdown. Hmm. Yeah, that part right there is just wow. Man, and I mean wow. I mean wow. This is just crazy. Um wow. Okay. That's no excuse. That's no excuse. I get that it's an emotional game, but that's no excuse for what he did, though. But anyway, man, this is just crazy. Oh no! Why don't you look me up? All right, there's more to this story. There's more to this story, actually. So the Clippers opened the fourth quarter with an 8-0 run and were never seriously threatened. Randle had 19 points, but missed 19 of 24 shots and committed 5 fouls. Damn. RJ Barrett was only good for 11 points on 12 shots and was a team worst minus 21. On the flip side, the Clippers stars showed up and raised their game when it mattered. Kawhi Leonard hit 28 of his 38 in the second half, while Paul George scattered 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists for the Clippers' third straight victory. Um, Emmanuel quickly rebounded from his 2 straight subpar games with 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. But his effort was not enough to lift the Knicks, who didn't reach 100 points for the first time since their momentum shifting 92-81 win over the Cleveland Cavaliers last December 4th that changed the course of their season. Against the Clippers playoff type defense, the Knicks could only hit 35.4% of their shots and made only 7 of 31 3-point attempts. Despite their awful shooting, they kept the game close until Randall's meltdown by dominating the boards 54-39, running in transition 19 to 9 fast break points and getting to the free throw line 24 of 27. The veteran officiating crew led by Bill Kennedy called only 37 fouls during the physical encounter, with the Knicks accounting for only 17. The Clippers only went to the line 16 times. Damn. And made 12 free throws. In the end, Leonard's shot making made the biggest difference. The two-time NBA Finals MVP went 14 for 22 from the floor, including 3 of 6 from downtown. He also hit perfect 7 of 7 free throws. Bronson missed his 7th game of the season with a bruised left foot. The Knicks sorely missed him. He is listed day to day, but it will be too much to ask him to return as soon as Sunday against the surging Los Angeles Lakers, winners of their last 3 games, despite LeBron James still on a walking boot with a tendon injury. Damn. Another loss will put the Knicks closer to the play-in tournament than a dream home court advantage in the playoffs. Hmm. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. Um, let's see. Okay. Draymond Green. And this is from Essentially Sports. Draymond Green has been an integral part of the Golden State Warriors for years now. In the last 8 years, the Warriors have won 4 titles, cementing themselves as an NBA dynasty. However, there has always been some criticism about the way they did it. The Warriors were already a great team when they won the title in 2015 and made history in the regular season in 2016. However, that did not stop them from strengthening the roster by adding Kevin Durant in 2017. This came under huge backlash from the fans. Recently, a former NBA player has called the Warriors dynasty lame and unfair. Interestingly, this happened during a podcast with Andre Iguodala, excuse me, Iguodala. Now, Draymond has responded to the former player. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's that's crazy. Damn. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, but former Portland Trailblazers veteran Evan Turner has been co-hosting the Point Forward podcast with Andre um, Iguodala. During a recent episode, Turner called the Warriors winning 3 titles in 4 years as lame and unfair. Turner said, "Y'all won a lot of championships, but it was lame as fuck." When Iguodala talked about the title win last season without Kevin Durant, Turner replied that that was fine, but it was not when the Warriors won 3 titles in 4 years. Wow. Um. Now Draymond Green has responded in true Draymond fashion, as per reports from the New York Post. He stated, "Dominating is lame. This sounds like someone got. This sounds like someone who got their ass kicked often. Good work, fellas." Interestingly, the Warriors swept Evan Turner and the Trailblazers in the 2019 Western Conference Finals after KD left. Man, wow. You talk about getting your ass kicked. Wow. That sounds like an epic fail to me, man. Oh man. Anyway. Oh shit. Anyway, Green is one of the leaders of this Warriors team and arguably the most expressive one, while Stephen Curry and Clay Thompson can be classified as usually quiet leaders. Green is not, and he has no problems giving back, especially with 4 rings. There's no comeback for that flex. The Warriors dynasty, the Golden State Warriors have made some very smart recruitment over the years that has helped the team abundantly. That includes drafting players like Stephen Curry, Clay Thompson, Draymond Green, and so forth, and nurturing them. The player development of the Warriors is one of the best in the league. This became the core of the Warriors teams. They also made a huge decision to stick with a young Curry who was struggling with injuries. Furthermore, since they were not superstars, they were tied to relatively low contracts. This helped them land a superstar in Kevin Durant. While the team looked unfair because of the talent it had, it was definitely smart business, and the team has reaped huge benefits. Hmm. Okay. In other basketball news, the New York Knicks offense sputtered in Jalen Brunson's absence. Um, that remaining, yeah, I already did that one already. I did that one already. Um, in other basketball news, um, and this is from Nets Wire. Brooklyn Nets guard Ben Simmons remains the team's biggest question, according to an article published by Bleacher Report on Thursday. Simmons has been one of the most polarizing athletes in recent memory because of how unique his career arc has been compared to most players considered to be all-star level players. Simmons came to the Nets in the James Harden trade because of how dissatisfied both players were with their current situations. Simmons, however, took it one step further than Harden by holding out because he did not feel comfortable playing for the Philadelphia 76ers anymore due to his mental issues. Even though he was an all-star in Philadelphia, Simmons has been anything but during his time in Brooklyn. This season alone, not only has Simmons performed well below his career numbers in essentially every category, he has also missed 17 of a possible 59 games for the Nets for a variety of injuries. Simmons missed Friday's 131-87 loss to the Chicago Bulls due to a left knee soreness. And according to head coach Jack Vaughn, Simmons will miss Sunday's contest against the Atlanta Hawks for the same reason. Vaughn was asked if the team has considered shutting Simmons down for the rest of this season. And even though Vaughn said no, it shows how much time Simmons has missed that Vaughn was asked that question. According to multiple reports, Simmons said that he hasn't been 100% healthy at any point this season, even though he didn't play at all last season, partially because of back surgery. Simmons is owed a little under $38 million in 2023 to 2024 and a little over $40 million in 2024 to 2025. So Brooklyn has a lot to think about when it comes down to the former LSU Tiger, according to BR. That's Bleacher Report, for those of you who may not know what that is. End quote. Just last season, the Brooklyn Nets had three cornerstone talents in Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. Now, with all due respect to Mikal Bridges, they have none, which boggles the mind when their roster includes a 26-year-old with 3 All-Star selections on his resume. The problem is said 26-year-old is Ben Simmons or whatever is left of him. He was a franchise floor general in a not so distant past, but now he's a 6'10", 240-pound enigma. Brooklyn added him at the 2022 trade deadline and still doesn't know what it has or how use him. Trying to figure out what lineup fits around Ben, what positions fits for Ben, how we can make him look good at every opportunity. Nets head coach Jacques Vaughn said, per Mike Maccaro of the New York Post. That's the goal, and I'm still trying to figure that out, excuse me. Theoretically, this revamped Nets roster fits around Simmons. It has a bunch of long, lanky defenders who can get out in the open court and spread the floor on offense. None of that matters. Though, as long as Simmons keeps playing like he's allergic to the basket, and afraid of the free throw line. Allergic. Oh man, wait a minute. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute here. That right there is I'm going to actually rewind this because wait a second here. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute here. Did this article just say did this article just say that that the person is allergic to Wait a minute, man. Allergic to the basket and afraid of the free throw line. This is unheard of, man. This shit is so fucking unheard of. Oh man. This shit is so unheard of right here, man. Oh my lord. Oh lord, that's funny. That's funny right there, man. Okay, RJ Barrett. Okay. RJ Barrett, according to RJ Barrett looked at peace. He didn't rush, he didn't premeditate. At the start of the second quarter, his eyes told the story. Um, the New York Knicks wing can get hot. It's happened two consecutive games. First during the double overtime thriller in Boston on Sunday, and then during Tuesday's trap game home loss to the Charlotte Hornets. But nothing looked quite like the second quarter of the Hornets game when Barrett didn't just score. For minutes, he controlled every possession. He ran pick and rolls with Isaiah Hartenstein. On one of them, he darted to the hoop and completed a gorgeous wrap around dump off to his center for a dunk. Once Barrett noticed Hartenstein's defender veering towards him, the bucket became easy, even if the pass was not. On another pick and roll, he bounced and basketball to Hartenstein. He bounced the basketball to Hartenstein, who then found Josh Hart in the corner for an open three. Barrett had already caught fire at that point. 8 points in the first 3 minutes of the second period. The Hornets had began trapping him, sending two defenders his way, hoping to get the ball to anyone else. But Barrett recognized the change in coverage immediately. And head coach Tom Thibodeau reiterates to his team often that the second pass, not the first, is one that beats the trap. This play exudes that concept. Barrett wasn't just running pick and rolls. He manipulated the game in other ways too. During this stretch, he bounced a transition helper to Hart, weaving the ball between two defenders who should have been in his way. Hart then dished back to Barrett for an open threes, excuse me. Um, I had to bounce it. Barrett said there was no other way to get it to him. When Barrett struggles, it's often because he doesn't notice extra defenders coming his way. He'll plow to the hoop, but toss a floater out of a crowd instead of kicking to a shooter on the wing. But the hockey assist to Hartenstein was him reacting to a trap quickly. The wraparound assist was him fixating on Hartenstein's man and noticing when the help came. Even Barrett's scoring was a result of him reading the game. Let me see who's in the chat. Shout out to the people in the crew of Pick Six with Nick and Noah. Make sure you, Noah and Nick, excuse me. Yeah, Pick Six with Noah and Nick. Make sure you go follow them on Instagram. Make sure you listen to them on Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. Okay. Okay, let's see. Where was it? Oh, yes. Wait a second. All right. So yes, the wraparound assist was him fixating on Hartenstein's man and noticing when the help came. Um, Even Barrett's scoring was a result of him reading the game. At one point, he turned a 2-on-2 foot race into a fast break. Obi top Obi Toppin sprinted down the court with him, as did a couple of Hornets defenders, both of whom were in front of Barrett. But the 22-year-old noticed one Charlotte player twisting the wrong way, so he attacked him, got fouled, and knocked down couple of free throws. His eyes were not on the hoop as he dashed to the paint. They were on the defense. Barrett finished the Hornets game with 27 points and 4 assists. He started hot but cooled off in the fourth quarter when the whole team's legs turned into gummy worms after a whole after a couple of emotional wins over the weekend. So the Knicks lost for the first time in 10 games. And they did it by letting go uh, letting go of a 16-point lead to a squad in contention for the number 1 overall draft pick. How stupid can you be? That's that shit is so fucking stupid though. Why would you do that? Oh shit. Oh man. Oh my gosh. These things happen in the NBA, especially when you are missing your leader and point guard. Jalen Bronson missed his second straight game with a sore left foot. Thibodeau said Bronson is day to day. Um, but at least Barrett, who has been cold for much of the winter, showed positive signs, and not just because he was scoring. For for a long stretch, he repeatedly made the right basketball play. The Knicks may have finally succumbed to defeat, but there is still plenty more to discuss about a team that is one of the hottest in the NBA. Of course, here are 5 more thoughts as they prep for the upcoming road trip. So, West Coast scoring Thursday's game has potential. Uh, Entering the season, no one could have anticipated that a March match between the Sacramento Kings and Knicks would become a must watch. Yet, especially if Bronson plays, we could see buckets and buckets and buckets. The Knicks and Kings have taken the 2 largest offensive jumps in the NBA this season. New York is 5th in points per possession, up from 23rd in 2021 to 22. Sacramento was even worse last season, 24th, but has climbed to first in the league today. If the season ended right now, the Kings would set the record for most points per possession in a single season ever. They play with controlled chaos. They take and make a bunch of 3 pointers. In this age of threes, they are one of the greatest inside the arc teams ever. They are shooting nearly 60% on twos. Um, the Mantis Sabonis does not miss. The Aaron Fox has become one of the best mid-range shooters in the world. He is one of the guards jousting with Bronson for an all NBA spot. The Knicks have a cross country flight Wednesday and then begin a 4 game West Coast swing that finishes with a couple of games against the LA teams and Portland. It's an exhausting trip under normal circumstances. The Kings are a real test, especially considering how drained this team looked against Charlotte. Catching their breath Julius Randle said after the Charlotte's loss that the Knicks just ran out of gas. Damn. Ran out of gas. Damn. That's crazy. Ran out of gas. Wow. Yes, ran out of gas. Oh man. That part was obvious. The Knicks' ethos is how hard they play. It makes the few times when they come out flat that much more noticeable. The Hornets um out rebounded them. They beat them to loose balls. The Knicks shot 5 of 26 in the fourth quarter and didn't make any of their 9 3-point attempts. They looked like a group of they look like a group on the second half of a back to back, even if they weren't. Um, they were just the hungrier team, Barrett said. Randall, in particular, was not moving at the same pace by the end of Tuesday's game. I'm not sure how to explain the nonchalance on this botched touch pass with anything more than that dude looks gassed. um, Randall had just played his heart out against the Miami Heat and Celtics enough so that he earned Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Um, Emmanuel quickly on the other end of that exchange had just run for 55 minutes in Boston, double his season average in one game. The Knicks had just played 2 overtimes in Boston before that was the buzzer beating victory in Miami. These experiences are as taxing emotionally as they are physically. Randall has played in every game so far this season, but NBA players are human, even the All Stars. True. Jalen Brunson, All NBA update. I wrote about the candidate Brunson could be up against his quest to make an All NBA team, but there is an update. One of the players I called a lock may not be one anymore. Ja Morant has played only 53 games so far this season, but now he's away from the Memphis Grizzlies indefinitely. If he misses the remainder of the season, he may not play enough to slide onto an all NBA team. The contenders at guard are strong. Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous Alexander, Donovan Mitchell, and Damian Lillard remain locks, but that leaves 2 spots up for grabs. Morant could return and snag one. Fox could get there, as could Stephen Curry, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Jalen Brown, or Tyrese Halliburton. But Bronson is in that class too. He has a chance. Look out for the Harts. Josh Hart has added an improved element in the Knicks offense. He's setting different types of screens than their perimeter players normally do. Watch this play from Friday's turbulent win in Miami, where Hart notices that the Heat have only one defender guarding 2 Knicks on the weak side and calls for Bronson to fire a pass, not to him, but to Quentin Grimes in the corner as he lays a screen onto Grimes' man. It's one thing for a player to facilitate when he has the ball. It's another for him to do it with screens. Uh, and it's another for a guard to do it with screens. Movement without the ball is critical, but also screening off the ball is critical. Thibodeau said, "We know the type of shots trying to get to. So, how do you manufacture those high priority shots that lead to the right shot profile for the team? I think those types of things are huge. Um, there's not really a stat for that. We swing the ball and get a wide open shot there. It's a corner three. That's the sacrifice that goes into winning. You give yourself up for the team to make the team better. If the whole team is doing that, good things will happen. The Knicks now have two players who have mastered this type of screen. Hartenstein gets spicy with his picks too. Sometimes when opponents play a drop coverage in pick and rolls, he surprises the defense, screening his man instead of someone else's uh, to widen a driving lane even more for his guard. It's called a Gortat screen, named after now retired center Marcin Gortat, who would do this over and over again with John Wall. With Wall's speed, it became a menacing way for the mid 2010s Washington Wizards to score in the half court. But Hartenstein sets other kinds of crafty screens too, including ones that are replicas of the Hart pick against Miami. Those types are especially effective against a zone defense, like on this early season play against the inexperienced Detroit Pistons. The Knicks' surprise offense has been one of the feel-good stories in the league this season. The basic way to explain their improvement is that they have relied on good shot selection, offensive rebounding, and they don't turn the ball over much. But they can't just walk into good shots. They have to create them. And sometimes that means more than just passing, cutting, and taking mismatches off the dribble. Quickly's obvious energy. My mother just watched her first Knicks game in years. It took 8 consecutive wins and a game against the Celtics to reel her in, but she did it. She's no basketball savant. She couldn't name a post earring Knicks player. And yet, 2 minutes into the game, she made her first observation. Who's that guy? She asked excitedly. She was talking about Quickly. I answered her question and gave her the Quickly elevator pitch. Usually comes off the bench, filling in tonight for the injured point guard, intelligent defender. She cut me off. He has so much energy, she said. My mom saw Quickly gallivant around the court for 55 minutes Sunday and witnessed him score a career high 38 points in the double overtime win over the Celtics. Because I had told her how heady of a defender he was, she referred to him as the smart guy for the entire game, which made her later conversation about Marcus Smart all the more confusing. Sometimes a fresh start, sometimes uh, a fresh set of eyes, no matter how inexpert, can see the picture even clearer than one that has studied the subject nonstop. My mother, who occasionally delves into my articles, tells me my stories are great, even though I didn't understand any of it. Let's see. She can name no more than the basic rules of basketball and 5 NBA players, and yet in 3 words. And after only 2 minutes of watching him, she summed up Quickly's spirit. If Quickly wins the NBA six man of the Year honor, this is probably why. It's the way he affects the Knicks' pace, his defensive chops, or that he's pulling up from 30 feet on one possession and dunking on the next one of a double overtime white knuckler when he's already over the 50-minute marker. He's not just a he's not just the scorer people pegged him as when he first came into the league. He gets his paws into just about everything the Knicks do, and it's so obvious that even my mother can detect it. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, what else we got? Okay, let's see what else we got to talk about here. Um, okay, let's talk baseball stuff. Hold on a second. Let me just make sure I didn't. Yeah, let's talk baseball stuff. Um, let's see. Hold on a second. Um, let me see. Okay, let's see. Okay. Um, okay. Um, let me see. Okay. So Manny Machado chose to stay with the Padres. So here's what's going on with the story in Sports Illustrated. With less than a week to until the 2023 regular season kicks off, the San Diego Padres' grand plan seems to be falling into place. They have decided on an opening day pitcher. Stars have returned from the WBC and look in rhythm, and MLB preseason rankings have been on their side. However, it's easy to forget that a little over a month ago, arguably the most important player on this franchise wasn't even guaranteed to stay in San Diego past this season. When the Friars allowed Manny Machado's deadline to pass without agreeing on a contract extension with him that he liked. Many fans were assuming the worst and preparing for him to bolt after the year concluded. Despite Machado's preference to not continue negotiations during spring training so the team could focus, both parties continued to do so and eventually came to terms on an 11-year, $350 million deal that had the city celebrating for weeks. The star third baseman sat down with 97.3 the fan and shared some details about what it was like going through that process and how he knew San Diego was the place for him to remain. Well, well, give me one moment, folks. Okay, okay, let me. Okay, so he says obviously you are making the long term commitment to staying in the city where you are loved, said Machado. You can go out there and be yourself, and it's very family orientated. Everybody is very laid back. No one is really messing around. They respect you. I think it was a no-brainer to stay here. Obviously, things got a little ugly there for a little bit, but it's a part of it. And we are what we want to be at the end of the day. Few players have ever put everything on the line for a franchise the way that Machado did for the Padres last season. And if that doesn't speak on his commitment to the city, I am not sure what will. He finished as an MVP finalist for the Friars in a year that saw him boost a slash line of 296, 366, 531, and record 32 home runs. Machado truly became the heart and soul of San Diego's clubhouse, and if anything was a no brainer, it was them paying him what he asked for. Um, Noel is currently, well, yeah, I'm not even gonna really get into that right there. So yeah, there you have it right there. He's with the Padres where he belongs and stuff. So and yeah, let me see. Okay. Um okay. Okay, Sports Illustrated. Um some bad news to one of the New York Mets closers actually. So in the aftermath of a freak injury in the World Baseball Classic, Mets pitcher Edwin Diaz was feared to be lost for the entire 2023 season. However, the New York closer is reportedly taking aim at beating that timetable. The Mets may have increased Diaz's odds, however, slightly of returning to the mound in time for a potential World Series run, according to a Friday report from the Athletic's Will Salmon. Um, According to the report, an optimistic Diaz has been trying to convince people that he'll be back this season. After undergoing surgery Thursday, it remains unlikely that he is able to do so. However, according to Salmon's report, the report cites quick action from two key Mets medical figures, Dr. Um, key physicians, actually, if you will. Um, yeah, um key figures and stuff. Wait a minute here. Sorry about that. Hold on, folks. That's not what I had in mind. Sorry about that, folks. I had to do a little restart on the Instagram live feed, and for those of you that's going to be watching on Instagram live, I'm going to do a little recap. We did talk about some basketball related stuff in regards to Draymond Green, Julius Randle, Josh Hart, and alongside with the Knicks and their situation and everything else in between. And I just started with one of the um one of the baseball prospects, Manny Machado, chose to stay with the San Diego Padres. So there you go, right there. And listen, all right, let me just continue where I left off here. So the report cites quick action from the two key Mets medical figures, physician Dr. James Carr and medical director Dr. David um Outcheck in attending the Diaz injured knee. Both were in Miami when he suffered the injury, and the location of a hospital of special surgery in the area ensured the Mets didn't need to fly Diaz anywhere for a second opinion. Diaz tore um, the patella tendon in his right knee Wednesday, celebrating Puerto Rico's 5-2 victory over the Dominican Republic in pool play, with Mets general manager Billy um, Appiah confirming the injury Thursday. In 2022, Diaz ranked among baseball's most effective relief pitchers, saving 32 games, and with a 1.31 ERA, he's finished ninth in the NL Cy Young voting. Ah, damn. That really has to suck, man. That really has to suck right there. Yeah, that sucks right there, man. Wow. Yeah, it is pretty tough, man, to lose your best closer in in any case right here. This is just crazy. But okay, so that's just crazy right there, man. Anyway, sorry about that. Um okay, let's take a look at Zack Britton. So, of course, um there's been a rumor in the air in regards to Zack Britton. Um, let's let's take a look at let's take a look at let's take a look at this shit. So, okay, so rumor in the air is about the Mets could find themselves in need of an extra bullpen arm with the frightening injury to superstar closer Edwin Diaz at the end of Wednesday night's World Baseball Classic game between Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. Ooh. And even before Diaz's apparent leg injury, New York was reportedly kicking the tires on veteran lefty Zack Britton, a former Orioles and Yankees pitcher who had some of his best years under Mets manager Buck Showalter while in Baltimore. According to Mike Puma of the New York Post, the Mets were already debating the merits of signing the 35-year-old and are set to attend his upcoming pitching showcase in the Miami area. Britton, a two-time All-Star and the American League leader in saves in 2016, struggled minorly in a short stint with the Yankees in 2022, posting a 13.50 ERA in 3 appearances. He was ineffective for the team in 21 as well, with a 5.89 ERA in 22 games, but was stellar for New York in the 2 years prior and was a franchise stalwart for Baltimore from 11 to 18. It would be unreasonable to expect him to step in for Diaz baseball's most dominant closer a year ago. But the Mets already had a bullpen depth concerns before Wednesday's injury. If Diaz is absent for an extended period of time, that could be a deciding factor for the Mets to sign someone like Britton as the 2023 season approaches. Now, they did announce that David Peterson is going to be the closer. So that's pretty much what that is right there. And let's get to Ronny Mauricio. Let's get to Ronny Mauricio. Okay, Mets minus set. So Ronny Mauricio was the Lindom MVP, reminding everyone of just how good he could be. Now, New York Mets fans are eager to see what is next. In the 8th inning of the spring training game against the Washington Nationals, Mauricio again flashed his incredible raw power. In his lone at bat in the game, he hit a 450-foot blast. The ball had an exit velocity of 110 miles per hour. Power like that stands out no matter what the setting. For Mauricio, it wasn't his most memorable blast. As he said in the post-game interview, he had a 507-foot homer in Double A last season against the Somerset Patriots. That one traveled 113 miles per hour. In moments like these, you understand why Keith Law of the Athletic compared Mauricio to Alfonso Soriano. Soriano hit 412 homers over his 16-year career. Soriano faced the same dilemma in his career Mauricio may face. Soriano was blocked at shortstop by Hall of Famer Derek Jeter. He moved to second, but he was the best suited to the outfield. Mauricio is blocked at shortstop by future Hall of Famer Francisco Lindor. That leaves a debate about whether he should eventually move to second, third, or the outfield with his having the tools to thrive defensively at any of those positions. For his part, Mauricio is ready and eager for whatever comes his way. As he explained post-game, he's open to playing anywhere, with third base being his preferred destination off shortstop. Mets manager Buck Showalter was impressed with the overall performance. In terms of the homer, he wasn't surprised with the homer or Mauricio getting stronger. Rather, he was more impressed with Mauricio defensively in his handling of the double play ball. Overall, Showalter noted he's come a long way and kind of evolved as a prospect in a lot of ways. With his power and continued improvement, Mauricio is impressing everyone. If he continues showing this power, they'll find a place for him to play. And judging from the comments, he will play there as well. Wow. That's pretty impressive right there, man. I gotta say, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive right there, man. That is a lituation of a baseball player like Ronny Mauricio. Will he be? Will he become a? Will he become a future prospect in a future um, regular season? Remains to be seen. So, last topic of the Easter weekend is Max Scherzer talking about the pitch clock. Yes, we gotta talk about the pitch clock. Unfortunately, there's been some rule changes and stuff, but let me just get into the year in review and the top 15 moments before I even get to all that. So, um, anyway, another year has come and gone in New York in the sports realm. 2022 brought one of the more successful years in recent memory for New York and its 10 sports teams. Multiple teams made the playoffs, multiple players won key awards, and faces of one of the largest sports cities on earth chose to either stay or go. Not every moment was excellent. Some left fans wondering if their health could take another roller coaster season, while others left their fandom entirely behind in search of greener pastures. Of course, Here's some top. Here's the top 15 sports moments in New York for 2022. So Matt Barzell stays on Long Island. For years, the Islanders had been the team that couldn't retain or bring in big time players, even John Tavares, a player who had become ingrained in the culture of the Islanders, left for greener pastures. Artemi Panarin and Johnny Gaudreau also declined to come to the island. Yet one player alone chose to stay and in turn changed the course of what the Islanders are perceived as. Matt Barzell signed an 8-year, $73.2 million deal to stay with the Islanders. His deal was a massive move for the Islanders to show that not only are they considered contenders in a loaded division, but also that they are more than capable of keeping high priced talent on the roster. Of course, 14 Mets 7-1 comeback over the Phillies. Rarely are rarely are regular season games highlighted in a year in review, but the Mets' historic comeback over the Phillies last May takes the cake. Trailing 7-1 in the top of the ninth in Philadelphia, the Mets erased a 6-run deficit, entering the final inning for the first time since September 13th, 1997. It was one of the most improbable comebacks in sports in 2022. New York would end up winning over 100 games for the fourth time in their history thanks to this comeback win. Um, Number 13, Lenescu sets triple double mark. Sabrina Ionescu has been a superstar since joining the WNBA, but her 2022 season was even more incredible than one could imagine. The Liberty Star recorded the first 30-point triple double in WNBA history. She is also tied for the most triple doubles uh, in a career in WNBA history. Um, Back in July of 2022, while the Liberty made the playoffs this year, um, Ion Ionescu has shown she's one of the best players in the league and will only be getting better. Number 12, the Brooklyn Nets. I said not all moments were great. The roller coaster the Nets have been on in 2022 is one of the most fascinating stories in all of sports. First, they trade James Harden to Philadelphia for Ben Simmons. Then Simmons doesn't suit up at all while the team gets swept in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Then the debate about if Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant return takes center stage during the offseason, with both requesting trades and both rescinding them to come back and play for Brooklyn. Even after that, the Nets stayed in the tabloids by firing Steve Nash and backing out on Ime Udoka, taking over only because the circus that was Kyrie Irving's posting an anti-Semitic video was too much negative publicity for a team to handle. What a year to be a Brooklyn Nets fan. Number 11, Steve Cohen becomes Vito Corleone. Mario Puzo's 1974 masterpiece, The Godfather, has nothing on Steve Cohen in 2022. After failing to get out of the wild card in the 2022 season and watching Jacob deGrom leave for Texas, Steve Cohen spent money to bolster the roster. When I say Steve Cohen spent money, I mean he spent over $1 billion on free agents like Justin Verlander, Brandon Nimmo, Kodai Senga, and now Carlos Correa, which didn't happen. He's made the offer that so many players couldn't refuse and has become the modern evil empire as the Met look to win a title. Well, the whole thing with Carlos Correa didn't really happen. So it didn't really happen. So, you know what I'm saying? So the Mets moved on. They're gonna be okay, man, without Correa. So okay, 10. New York Jets 2022 draft class. Some teams use free agency to build their roster into a championship contender. The lucky ones have a draft class that changes everything for them. For the Jets, their 2022 class has been one of the best in modern history, as well as franchise history. Sauce Gardner. Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, and plenty of others have changed the culture of the Jets franchise and have them on the cusp of a playoff berth. Sauce Gardner. Oh shit. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah. Number 9, Brian DeBall is hired by the Giants. Speaking of franchise altering moves, while the Jets have changed their outlook because of their draft class, the Giants have changed their outlook thanks to one man. Brian DeBall was hired in January of 2022 and has completely altered who the Giants are. New York, for the first time in over 7 years, is in great shape for a playoff berth, which didn't really happen, even with all the injuries they have suffered. Brian DeBall's hiring seems eerily similar to that of Bill Parcells, and it makes it one of the most important and memorable events in New York sports of 2022. Number 8, Giants beat Washington to cement a playoff berth. The last time the Giants were in the playoffs, Eli Manning was still the face of New York City. Since then, it's been one bad season after another for the G-Men. That all changed in 2022, even if it certainly didn't seem like it at times. New York hadn't won in over a month and yet faced off against Washington for a chance to be in the driver's seat for a playoff berth. Instead of crumbling with the lack of talent around them, Kayvon Thibodeau and Daniel Jones carried the Giants to a 2012 win and a changing of the guards in New York football. Igor Shesterkin wins the Vizina Award. Honor and Ranger fans will argue which Russian goaltender of theirs is better. But in 2022, what is it? Shesterkin reigned supreme. He led the league in goals against average and save percentage on his way to leading the Rangers to their first Eastern Conference Finals berth since 2014. Shesterkin won the Vizina Trophy awarded to the league's best goaltender and cemented himself as one of the top athletes in New York sports. 6. Bills win the East blowout New England in NFL playoffs. The 2021-22 NFL season may have ended with difficulty for Josh Allen and the Bills, but that doesn't take away from their second straight AFC East title. To make matters even better, they not only beat their rival New England Patriots in the playoffs, but they destroyed them so badly that New England has yet to recover. For years, the Patriots owned the AFC East with bravado and overconfidence that made fans around the league sick. Not sure why too many people don't like the word overconfidence, but I digress. Their 47-17 win over Bill Belichick was not just incredible, but incredibly helpful for the rest of the league. Number 5, Mets throw a no-hitter. The Phillies may have gotten the last laugh as pennant winners, but the Mets made quick work of their NL East rivals all season. The highlight for New York came when they threw a no-hitter against Philadelphia's vaunted lineup in April. In just the second no-hitter in team history, the Mets used 5 pitches to make history as New York won 3-0 and sent the rest of the fans at Citi Field into a frenzy. New York is a baseball town, and when history is made, it means just a little bit more. Number 4, Serena Williams retires in New York. The U.S. Open was the site of incredible performances in 2022, none more than Serena Williams in her final competitive match in the U.S. Open over the summer. Williams lost to Australian Ajala in the third round of the Open and seemingly ended her dominant career as the greatest women's tennis player of all time. She is not a New York athlete, but her curtain call coming in New York City on one of tennis biggest stages is enough to put her in a top 5 spot here. Number 3, Yankees win Game 5 against Guardians, formerly known as the Indians. For a while, it appeared the Yankees were on pace to complete one of the greatest seasons in MLB history, but a cold second half of the season ended those dreams, even with New York still winning 99 games. In the playoffs, they were locked in a tense divisional series against the Cleveland Guardians. Cleveland even had a 2-1 series edge with one more win, sending them to the ALCS in an upset win. The Yankees quickly responded, though, and in a winner-take-all Game 5, blew through Cleveland's questionable pitching choices to win 5-1. It was one of the biggest playoff games of the year for a New York team, but wasn't the biggest win, though. Number 2, Rangers beat Carolina in Game 7 to move to ECF. We mentioned earlier that Shesterkin and the Rangers made the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2014. How they did it was even more impressive. Carolina, winners of the Metro Division during the regular season, led the 7-game series 2-0 and later 3-2 before New York would respond every time. And in the winner take all game 7, the Rangers would bury Carolina by a 6-2 final with Shesterkin making 37 saves. Um, the win solidified New York's place as one of the best teams in hockey and also showed how bright a future they truly have with their young core. And number one, the year of Aaron Judge. Every other athlete or team pales in comparison to the year Aaron Judge had just put forth. Judge sets the AL home run record with 62 homers and an AL MVP to boot. It was one of the greatest regular seasons of all time that had networks changing their regularly scheduled programming to follow his run. On top of that, Judge decided to stay in New York with a 9-year, $360 million deal and became just the 16th captain in Yankees history in December to cap off one of the greatest years in baseball history. To think the year began with a contract standoff, even more incredible when you think of how far Judge and the Yankees have come. Yeah. Pretty interesting, isn't it? Um, Pretty interesting. Yeah. Okay, so to think the year began with the year began with a contract standoff is even more incredible when you think of how far Judge and the Yankees have come. There isn't one particular moment with Judge that is highlighted above all else. As New York's top athlete, Judge reigns supreme as the top moment in New York sports. So there you have it. So there you have it. That was the top 15 moments in New York sports. Now we can go to Max Scherzer and how he feels about the pitch clock. Okay, so Max Scherzer didn't have the best of starts for the New York Mets on Friday, but he got to toy with the new pitch clock. The talk of the preseason, we got a taste of Scherzer's brilliance and how the pitch clock can actually be a weapon. And we seen a couple of funky things happen in the first week of spring training relating to the pitch clock. Wendy Peralta had a 20-second strikeout for the New York Yankees. A game between the Atlanta Braves and Boston Red Sox ended in a tie when a pitch clock violation was called on the batter. It was the final strike of the game. Oh shit. Scherzer showed a whole new element of Rob Manfred's latest invention. He took the ball up to the line of scrimmage and let the clock run down. After a hut and a few Omahas came the hike. Um, you better believe the Mets will talk about other ways to take advantage of these new rules. Knowing the rule was a part of the Mets plan in 2022 under Buck Showalter, who could forget when JD Davis took an extra base during an appeal to see if Dom Smith tagged up too soon on a sacrifice fly. It wasn't a fresh rule, and yet it's not something I think too many fans have ever seen happen. The pitch clock is brand new to everyone. Finding ways to get into the hitter's head and catch him off guard is one way to spin the rule into a tool for a pitcher, as we see in Riley Adams at bat against Scherzer. Readiness will be important for anyone who digs into the box. Mets fans know better than anyone how a quick pitch is far from foolproof, and famously used by Jerry's Familia during the 2015 World Series. Some hitters see it coming, or at least are able to catch up to it. The phrase "you can't teach an old dog new tricks" might be true in a lot of areas of life. This isn't fitting for Scherzer. There's no trick to teach him. This old dog is the educator, not the student. Oh, wow. Wow. Very, 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 very interesting. Um I can't even imagine, man. I cannot even imagine. So let me see. Let me see something, man. How does Max Scherzer feel about the pitch clock? Okay, that doesn't explain too much about that, but so let's see. Okay, so let's see what he says. And this is from ESPN. Um he talked about this though. So Max Scherzer, according to ESPN, has theorized that baseball's new pitch clock would allow pitchers to dictate the pace of games. In the eyes of one umpire, he raced too fast even for the pitch timer Friday. Scherzer tested the boundaries of baseball's novel pace of play rules during his second spring training start, trying several unusual tactics to get Washington Nationals hitters off their game. At one point, he started throwing a pitch to Victor Robles. The moment plate umpire Jeremy Riggs reset the clock, and Riggs called Scherzer for a balk. He calls time. I come set. I get the green light, Scherzer said. I thought that was a clean pitch. He said, no, we have to figure out where the limit is. Major League Baseball's pitch clock has left pitchers and hitters learning a no whole new pace to the game this spring. Players have 30 seconds to resume play between batters. Between pitchers have 15 seconds to deliver the ball with nobody on the 20 seconds if there's a base runner. Um, Batters must be in the box and alert to the pitcher with at least 8 seconds on the clock, and they get only one timeout per plate appearance. Some are adjusting and taking advantage of the rules faster than others. New York Yankees reliever Wandy Peralta rushed through an at bat so effectively Thursday that he completed at a three-pitch strikeout in only 20 seconds. Scherzer experimented with a few strategies Friday with 2 on and 2 strikes against Riley Adams in the third inning. Scherzer froze in the set position and let the pitch clock tick down to 7 before Adams called timeout. Um, on the next pitch, Scherzer became set as the 20-second clock started. Adams finally stepped into the box with the clock at 11 seconds, and Scherzer immediately delivered, getting a swinging strike on a 96 miles per hour fastball. You can tell they were expecting me to work quick today, and you can make that work to your advantage by speeding up and slowing down the game, Scherzer said. Not all the experiments worked. Not only was Scherzer called for a balk, but he also had an inning-ending double play overturned when umpires ruled he had narrowly let the pitch clock run out before starting his delivery. Max and a lot of veteran pitchers and pitchers in general are going to use this time to test some things and make some adjustments, Mets manager Buck Showalter said. Everybody up here is looking for a competitive edge, hitters, pitchers, catchers, and it's a good time to be testing those things. Well, yeah, this is correct. Wow. Let's see. It might be a little yeah, so it might be a little hmm. Yeah. Anyway, it's I know it's gonna be a little hard for a lot of players to actually adjust to the new rules and the pitch clock and stuff. So it's not easy, but it'll take some time to actually get into the game and stuff. And how it's the well, yeah. I know everybody's going to say that baseball's supposed to be fun and all with a quick, fast pace and all that other stuff. But I think you have to find a balance. You have to find a balance between fun with baseball and being able to, you know, get the hang of the pitch clock and all that other stuff. So that's not going to be easy, but we'll see what happens during the regular season of baseball. So yeah. All right. So okay. I think we can end it up right here, man. I think we can end this episode right here. So here it is, man. Um, we're gonna get to our last segment of the day in terms of stream choices on the go, man. Let's get into it right here. Yes, y'all know what to do. For you folks out there who want to show some support, you can go ahead and show your love by following Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the sports edition show platform, which is what TLKS stands for. It stands for Talks. On Instagram, alongside with my other my other platform, which is the review show of Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, and alongside with following my number one show on Facebook, which is Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast, and also on Instagram as well, and myself included. You can follow your homie at G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Turn on your notifications so you can get more information on when each episode is going to be dropping. And as I said, it's going to be Wednesdays and Thursdays. It'll be dropped on streaming platforms and all that great stuff right there. So, and speaking of streaming platforms, I recently changed the link in the link in bio. Because I couldn't get into the other one. So the link in bio is going to the recently new link in bio is going to be Linktree / Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Pod. All right. So that's Linktree / Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Pod. All right. And you're gonna see a whole list of stream platforms for you to follow, for you to subscribe, for you to for you to listen, stream, and of course watch, of course. And also you can still leave a leave a voice message on there, regardless of the changes to the Anchor hosting site or with the hosting site and stuff like that. So speaking of which, man, we're gonna start with Audacity, Audible, Amazon Music, Breaker, Bullhorn FM, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podhound, Podo Polo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podvine, Spotify for podcasters, aka Anchor, and of course Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcasts. You don't need a credit card to download the iHeartRadio app. One moment. Yes, as I was saying before, you don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio or any of the apps that I just mentioned right here. And you can also make sure you follow this New York podcast platform right here on iHeartRadio, alongside with excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, the Sports Edition show, and Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast review show. Make sure you follow that, and and I will finally go to the last thing that you can actually listen and watch, which is the sports YouTube channel page. Make sure you grab that subscribe button on the sports YouTube channel page of Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast. Leave a like and a comment along with the sports episodes and topics. Click on the noti bell along with the alerts so you can be reminded of when the show goes in the air via live stream, along with the date and time. And also, for the most part, the most important thing is to share the episodes, share the videos. Stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes, in case you miss any of the episodes. Don't you worry. And you can also download these episodes as well. And of course, listen, stream, and watch the episodes as well. And of course, you can yes, tell a friend to another friend. Shit, make sure you spread the word. Word of mouth is important. Share the episodes. Share the link that says Linktree / Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Pod, along with the podcast itself, with your husbands, wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, the people you are cool with from work, and of course, where there's at festivities, birthday parties, parties at clubs, where you meet them at barbecues, block parties, and picnics. All right, so I think that's gonna do it for this episode right here. That's gonna do it for this episode right here, man. And I appreciate every single one of you who actually took the time to listen and to actually learn from each topic that's being talked about. So That's it. I'm your man G Money Stacks, aka the Gregan Eater. Thank you very much for listening to episode 59 titled Top 15 Moments. And of course there's gonna be more sports topics to talk about. And tune in next time where I talk about Justin Verlander's injury, and of course there's going to be a little update which I will talk about in the other future episodes, so we'll see what's going on with that as well. And and of course be sure to remember, the grind doesn't stop, hard work pays off. New York wasn't built in a day. You just have to trust the process, because um everything is not going to happen overnight. Everybody starts from the bottom. As Drake says in his song, start from the bottom, now we here. I had to start from the bottom, and I'm already making it to the top right there. And most importantly, find your voice, be confident in what you do, and of course, look for something, find something that clicks to you, that gets you on your P's and Q's, creatively, mentally, physically, and spiritually, that gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. And also, a quick reminder, in the words of Ivy Rivera, is, I'm going to be paraphrasing here though, you got to validate yourself. Nobody's going to validate for you. Be true to yourself, be original, be organic, be natural, all that great stuff right there. And also remember, your personality is not for sale. You feel what I'm saying? Your personality is not for sale. So it's not something you could just grab. You know what I'm saying? You just stay true to yourself, follow your goals and dreams, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to make it. And as podcasters and hosts, we have to inspire every person out there. It's very important to me that I inspire and motivate people into following their goals and dreams on whatever career field that they're trying to do, because at the end of the day, there's no room to be jealous, man. There's no room to be fucking jealous, because at the end the fact of the matter is, you you don't really want too much negativity. You don't really want that. And I know sometimes as human beings we have to balance between being positive and of course being a little of the opposite of being negative, of course. But you gotta understand something too, though. There's no such thing as a person who is positive 24/7. There's no such thing. And I really kept that in mind. So it's all about finding the balance and put everything in moderation. So there you go, right there. So anyway, man, I hope y'all enjoying your Easter weekend. I hope y'all enjoying the fun activities that I gave on my other platform, which is Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast. And in episode 255 and 254, I actually tried to get to California as far as like the events for Easter and everything else in between. But because of time, I wanted to pick out certain fun activities. And the reason why I give out fun activities on a weekly basis. It's because people need relief from stressful jobs, family drama, um of course, all that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, man, follow your goals and dreams, and of course, do something that makes you smile. And let me take a look at one more person real quick. And this is the Digital Dissection Podcast. Digital Dissection Podcast. Thank you for joining this live stream. About to get off the air. About to get off the air and stuff. So, enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend. Hope y'all having fun on this Easter weekend with the events, egg hunts, candy shops where you get all the snacks. Of course, places to eat for Easter, desserts. You just name it. You just name it. And I hope y'all enjoying the New York International Car Show at the Javits Center, and which, by the way, it's going on it started from what is it, April 7th, no, April 6th. Hold on a second. April 6th to the 17th of this month. All right. So if you want to go there, you can go there. You can purchase your tickets. You can purchase your tickets and stuff, so you can have a blast by looking at some cars, all that great stuff. Every single brand of cars is going to be there, so you might want to get your tickets. You don't want to miss out on anything. So that's gonna do it. Peace and one love. Happy Easter, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Easter weekend. Good night, everybody. One love. Happy Easter. Good night.